And we are live, everyone. My name is Vinnie, my co-host over here.
I'm David Wright, co-host in The Matrix.
Perfect. All right, so let's just kind of dive into the numbers. So you can kind of see over the last, what has it been, like 5 weeks or so, we've been sitting at about 1,000 new properties across the board coming on the market. So we're slowly kind of getting an uptick. Yes, we did. We usually get a big uptick in June. As you can kind of see, we didn't get that drastic uptick. I think people are getting more comfortable with the norm kind of going on. Sold properties sitting in that kind of 700, slowly kind of ventured up to that 8. If you've been kind of recently joining us, most times what's happening is these numbers get updated over the weeks coming from agents putting information about sold properties and things like that a week or 2 weeks behind when it actually happened. So if you look at the kind of the old numbers, even for last week, we're sitting under 700. We haven't set under 700 in sold properties across the board and we're talking about a couple months back. Yes, something to really probably factor in. We did have a little bit of an uptick the month before that, where we had 900 because it was coming to the end of the month. Most lenders try to close it out by the end of the month. So that could have played a little bit of a factor. Now, if we jump into the 700 market, we'll see kind of a similar idea of kind of what happened, where we're seeing that 600 mark of new listings, 500 over the last week, 583, and also something kind of interesting. We had last week, the week before, in that low 400s. Again, it was a little bit after the end of the month, so that could have played a little bit of a factor. Yet the properties are going pretty fast. If you've been following us, you've been seeing active properties. We've been kind of sitting about that 3,900 for the last couple of weeks, and we're sitting a little bit under now, 3,874 with 5,000 pending properties. Again, 703 million more pending properties and active. And of course, under 700,000, we're talking about double amount of properties under contract than we do have active on the market, and then 156 coming soon properties. So something to kind of really think about. Something I plan to do next week is kind of dive deeper into balancing out the detached properties compared to attached properties. My gut, and it's just my gut, is telling me that we're going to even see more of a drastic number in the detached market than we are going to see in the attached market.
Really? You think you're going to see more basically detached selling?
Yeah, I think I'm going to see more under contract than active in the detached. Something that came to my attention the other day was with COVID going on, people were stuck in their homes for a little while, that they sort of realized that they needed space, needed kind of like some room to live in. And I think that slowly kind of changed the way people look at their living situation.
I think that's going to cause more people to sell their condos and to buy houses.
Yeah, that's what my gut is telling me. So I'm going to dive deeper into the numbers and see what that shows next week.
I see a lot of people that I'm talking to on refinancing, and they're saying, I'm not sure how I'm going to live in my condo another 2 or 3 more years. So where's my break-even point analysis for lowering the rate right now? Because a lot of people, it seems like, are going to probably leave the condo and go to the SFR because it's been a cramped situation now for a long time.
Yeah, it's really interesting how this market's going. It'll be interesting even more so with forbearances. I was on a call the other day talking about forbearances, and it seems even though people are in forbearance, they're still making their payments. There's a good portion of people like that. But yeah, I think it'll be some very interesting end of the year to see how everything kind of keeps playing forward. If rates are going to stay where they are, I believe rates are going to probably stay there, at least for the time being, and how they'll affect the housing market. We're slowly seeing a dip in inventory. We were at 4,000, I want to say, maybe like a month or so ago, maybe a month and a half ago, got to 3,900, a little bit under 3,900 now. Are we going to start getting down to 3,700? We'll see how that plays out.
I think your rates are definitely going to stay low the next 6 months. I would put that as I'm not going to say it's a bold prediction because it's really not that bold. I think as the economy we still haven't really experienced the full impact of what's happening. And I think rates will stay low the next 6 months. So for those of you out there who haven't taken advantage of the low rates, it is the best in history, but it's not something that is going to disappear tomorrow. I think the economy will need these lower rates for the next couple of months. And if we do get a spike in outbreaks in fall, I anticipate, a very interesting market coming around right there, because you have the fall with COVID, and you have November elections, and you have a lot of job uncertainty, and economic losses is finally carrying over. So I think the low rates stay super low. It's a great time for people who are looking to invest long-term in themselves.
Yeah, I mean, definitely makes sense. Now, people watch right now, where are interest rates right now?
Like me and you were talking before we came live, I locked a couple people in on jumbo loan amounts at 2.875, no cost. And those were on $1 million loan amounts. Feel free to check that all over the web. Check Chase, BofA, Wells Fargo, Union Bank, all of them. Nobody is touching that. That's unheard of in the jumbo market. So that kind of lets you know the state of the economy. The other thing is,
what do you think, if let's say hypothetically someone wanted to buy down the rate, how low could they buy it down from something like that?
Well, a week ago, I had a guy buy down to 2.25 on a jumbo. He did pay $18,000 to do that, which I disagreed with 100%. But he swore he's going to live there for 30 more years, which I think the odds are against him. But he got 2.25, cost him 18,000 in points. I don't think it's worth it, but he did it. As far as most normal people, we're at a floor. You can't really buy below 2.75, 2.625. They're not letting you buy lower, and that's varying on a day-to-day basis. So, like, for example, you could get 2.75 today, but it's like a half a point cost.
And rates probably on jumbo. I mean, some of the jumbos, I mean, a couple months back, 2 months back, 3 months back, they weren't even loaning on it. And the ones
we weren't even lending. We were a couple months ago. We weren't even lending on jumbos. And still, look around. Most rates are 3.25, 3.375. The other thing that's interesting is your high balance conforming is still in the 3% range. That's unheard of. That's not charging points, and that's on loan amounts above 510. For everyone out there that has a loan amount below 510, you get the best rates around, and those are still down at 2.75. It's ridiculous. In the 15-year fixed rates, 2.3, 2.5. I mean, it is a great time for you to refinance and then start saving money in your 401k, start investing in mutual funds, diversifying your assets, and planning for things to go wrong, because they will. That's just reality.
Well, if this is your first time watching us, this is our market update. We do this every Monday and Friday. Sorry for the people on Monday wasn't able to do it, but we do this most Mondays and Fridays. That was kind of more of an anomaly this Monday. So feel free to subscribe to this platform. Reach out. We have it on YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, all the different platforms that you watch videos on. So feel free to subscribe. And I would be doing San Diego a disservice if I didn't say
I need to subscribe.
$4 grand, 4 days. Huge Padre fan, and now you could be watching this video in a couple months from now, and I could have my heart broken because in the playoffs, you know what? Live in the moment, live in the now, and we'll plan and hope for the future. So,
did you just hit a grand slam with that?
Thank you. So again, subscribe, share. This weekend we're not going to have any kind of investor seminar. Usually we'll have one together, investor, VA, buyer seminar, anything like that. If you have a certain seminar or questions that you have questions about, feel free to reach out to myself or David. We'd love to be that resource for you. Our numbers are on the screen. You can see, boom, boom. And then Dave is over there. Right there. All right, guys. Well, that's it. We want to stay under 10 minutes. Have a great one.
Have a great weekend.